السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
We're reading from the Reasonings, page 7. A reminder. Each science has its own principles and laws upon which it is based, and each is founded on the orderliness of existence. But for that orderliness in existence, there would have been no laws or sciences. Secondly, certain pleasures and loves are found in the basic purposes and benefits appointed for life, such as eating, drinking, and marriage. For example, the basic purpose of marriage is reproduction, but the pleasures provided by love for one's spouse and love for one's children are the pleasures included in this purpose. Should I read it again?
Go on.
If you can see the divine favor in this single fact of life, we can easily understand that there is nothing that is useless or extraneous in existence. And we can perceive that prophethood upon which the most fundamental purposes of existence or creation are centered is indispensable for human life and existence. If there were no prophethood, humanity would have come from a chaotic world, and this world would have been thrown into complete chaos.
We are almost towards the end of the section Messengership in general. Now we are going to start the messenger of Muhammad in particular. This reminder, I found it's a kind of conclusion. Conclusion does not really include proof in it. You know that proof must have been demonstrated before, and this is my conclusion. So we have been studying this matter for a couple of months, maybe more. So what we will do, here it says orderliness of existence is should. If the science is out there and using the orderliness of existence, and it is working, it doesn't change. You don't find your computer one day doesn't work and everything. Not your particular computer, but the system changed. The system of the order of the universe has changed. It doesn't happen. So the author gave another example based on this orderliness, that nothing in this world is useless. We can't really make sense of, for example, the animals and human beings take care of their children. And in their relationship, they have love for their spouses. This is what, if you look at the orderliness of the universe, this is one part of the order of the universe that the reproduction will take place. But it is supported by other motivations. And also provided the human beings are provided, or the animals also are provided some sort of pleasure out of this relationship. And everything is perfectly arranged. So the prophethood also is a part of the existence. Do you understand that? The prophethood, messengership is a part of existence. Why? Let's remember what we have been talking about so far about this messengership. The universe is meaningful. Human beings are conscious beings, and conscious human beings ask questions about the meaning of existence, and the universe provides the meaningfulness in creation, or meaning in creation. But human consciousness asks, okay, there are meanings in creation, in the existence of the universe, but what am I going to do with these meanings? I cannot deny it. That there is meaning in the existence of everything. There is wisdom. We frequently mentioned about the wisdom in existence, in the existence of everything. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. Because the meaning refers to something beyond the capacity of the universe. When we use certain expressions here in the classes, we should pay attention that the meaning refers to something, not to the universe itself, to something else. But human consciousness is aware of the existence of the meaning, but at the same time, this consciousness does not know what to do with it. Why the universe is so meaningful? But do we know? Why the universe is so meaningful? Why is the universe so meaningful? Don't use the prophetic message. Answer. An answer.
There must be a purpose to it for things to be meaningful.
What is that?
That's what we are here to find out in this universe.
But you cannot find out in the universe. The meaning refers to something not related to the universe. You cannot attribute the meaning to matter itself. What are you going to do?
You can draw a conclusion about something not of the universe based on what you experience in the universe.
Yeah, but yeah.
Like draw
But
a
I don't know.
logical conclusion.
I don't know. Yeah. It refers to something to which I cannot attribute this meaning. But I don't know. No way to know. Forget about your hearings about the prophetic message. There's God and Creator and His absolute is not to say same nature of universe. Look, we learn from prophethood. If there was no such guidance, no way to know. No way to know. We only can say that it is mysterious. It is mysterious. But we understand that it is mysterious. And the best we can conclude that this universe is strange. It must have something beyond it. But what is that? No sign. That's why some people say, yes, the universe, the order in the universe, the perfection in the universe, in the existence, perfection in the existence. I'm not saying the perfection as we expect it to be. We understand? There are lots of difficulties in our life, and lots of things are happening. We may say it's not perfect. See what I mean? We understand that. But in the existence, in the hurricane, for example, in the existence of the hurricane, it is perfectly happening within a certain principles, laws, principles, order. Hurricane doesn't happen chaotically. We understand that. It is an important point. Hurricane, earthquake doesn't happen chaotically. They happen within an order, and the human beings are trying to find out the order because they see that there must be an order. Now, it is meaningful. It's perfect. The creation is perfect. But again, I am emphasizing the word. Existence is perfect. The existence of everything is perfect. Not according to my expectations, they are perfectly fitting to my expectations. This kind of differences are not really I couldn't find a better appreciated. We keep talking about the perfection in existence. But people think that the universe is perfect, and everybody takes it to according to human expectations. And people say, no, not everything is perfect. There are some people born with certain defects, illnesses. Existence is perfect. Never forget this expression. The point is, existence is perfect. Illnesses are taking place within a perfect order. Nothing is chaotic. Nothing is accidental. Right? For example, nowadays, it is much more clear to human beings that they study the DNA of a baby. Before the baby is born, they said this baby is going to have, I know one real example, this baby is going to have a heart with a hole in it. Cannot hold the blood. Would you like to carry on this pregnancy or give an end? The baby's not there. They know. Why? It is taking place within an order. And this order is perfect, not chaotic, not accidental. They say this is inherited or this is something to do with the structure of DNA or I don't know, the technical side. I must admit that. But they know that this is happening within a perfect order. So we have to make the distinction, we have to talk a lot, the distinction between the universe is perfect, God created the universe perfect, and they say, come on, don't be stupid. Not everything is perfect. Because what is missing there? One word is missing. The existence of everything is taking place in a perfect way. Even the illness is taking place. Existence of illness is perfect. Existence of hurricane, whatever you call that. Earthquake is perfect. perfectly taking place. If you miss one word, you miss the other one. Okay. I feel the need to emphasize on the difference, missing one particular word or using certain expressions, right? For example, not saying that the creator is outside of the universe. It's meaningless. The human mind cannot think of outside of the universe. But what we can conclude rationally, not of the nature of the universe, because we cannot really limit existence to the nature of this universe. Because human mind can understand this. When you say outside of the universe, you can't. They say, it's just your imagination. We lose the argument by using one word, by losing one word in your argument. We have to think about it and really be stuck to this kind of language. Otherwise, you repeat yourself. But before this, you wanted to say something.
I wanted to clarify.
About?
I wanted to ask you what I understood. So prophethood is necessary because we cannot really conclude with confidence the existence of a creator that is not of the nature of the universe without being told so. We're not able to comfortably, logically conclude that. It remains mysterious.
If there was no prophethood, but
did I understand?
No, you understood right there.
Okay.
But the argument we are trying to develop has not arrived at what you said. But you are aware of it. Yeah? Where we are going. The contradiction is this. We say that according to human capacity and according to what we are observing in the universe, there are endless contradictions. We have to admit that. Yeah? This contradiction must be solved because we know that this is a contradiction and it needs to be solved because human consciousness is aware of aware of the existence of the contradiction. Human beings want eternity, human beings want perfection as far as their creation, their expectations are concerned. And there is no eternity, and there is no perfection within the universe as far as human expectations are concerned, not as far as the existence itself is concerned. Human expectations are concerned make the difference. If you don't realize this difference, you go back to your previous culture. Okay, your turn.
So the earlier you described that perfection can be seen in the existence itself, and I guess what I'm struggling with is that I understand, as the author states, like, I guess in a way what you're saying is that perfection can be seen in the orderliness of existence, how everything is arranged and just the existence of the thing trying to fulfill the purpose that it's been created for. So perfection can be seen in that. However, I may not like something or I may dislike something, and may not desire that thing for myself. So the classic example that comes to my mind is the existence of a snake. Let's say I don't want to be in the presence of a snake. I dislike it for whatever reason, but I'm not criticizing the perfection or criticizing the perfection in its existence. So that part I get. But before I project that this snake is perfect in its existence, I have to investigate the existence of that snake before I come to that conclusion. So my question really here is about, or not question, it's more of a statement, I guess, that we cannot project this ideology or this idea that everything, every existence has, I guess, purposefulness or meaningfulness up until I investigate it and conclude with that. And in that conclusion, I then make that claim to say that there's meaningfulness in existence, there's perfection in existence. That'd be right.
Correct. Yeah. Now, what we also have an expectation, since this is perfect, since my consciousness is aware of it, and my consciousness requires the meaning in the existence of the perfect universe, or the perfection in the existence, there must be something. Atheists also say the universe is perfect, and this perfection, although they try to make it, they try to make an explanation of the perfection by attributing it to accident, but there are very few people. There are very few obstinate people, but most of the scientists, the human beings, really not corrupted ones, completely corrupt ideology or prejudice, bias, they say, yeah, it is mysterious. But we are studying the perfect order. That's our profession. We are not interested in other subjects, and let the theologians study whatever they want, and we have nothing to do with that. That's what they say. They also admit that the universe is perfect, and it is meaningful, and it is mysterious, but I don't want to deal with it. But any human being keeps asking, what is the purpose in the existence of such a perfect creation or universe? And ultimately comes to myself. What is the purpose in my existence? Yeah, what am I going to do with my existence? Because it is full of unexplainable qualities that every human being has. What am I going to do with them? We are in bewilderment. We are perplexed. When we human beings, when someone says, the creator of this perfect universe told me that, asked me to let the people know that there is such a being behind it, which is absolute. It's not our subject. And we start thinking, is it possible? Of course, if we are going to make sense of it, if we are going to reason about it, what we will do, what we human beings do, go back to the meaning in the existence of things, whether they refer to an absolute, they refer to the existence of an absolute being. Not the prophet says so, we have to copy-paste it. So go back to the universe, because you heard the concept now, whether it's possible or not. For example, let's say a person is born into a society, and this society has laws and order, administration, and the head of the administration, somebody. But he says, look, everybody, simple example, everybody obeys the traffic rules, so that nowadays, before there was no traffic rules, but there was no traffic. So nowadays, and the child child wonders, how all the community agreed on the same principle. How? And somebody who has the experience before, heard of it, say, look, there is an administration here. There are regulations, there are laws, and there are some people who implement the laws. So every member of this society is obliged to follow these laws. That's why they agreed on it. It's a common agreement. I said, look, any child, let's say, it's a child, or a person who came from a place where there's no rule, but there's no such place. Every community, how primitive they are, have their own rules. Let's say that he didn't know that such a thing exists. And they say, no, it makes sense. Otherwise, how these people really conclude or agree on the same things? There must be some sort of authority behind it. Then he starts thinking and questioning which kind of administration it is, how do they implement the principles that they have, and which kind of regulations this society needs to go along with this a peaceful life at the society level. Then it questions further and further and further. But the human beings must hear it first to begin. So that is why we understand it then that, there must be such a being who gave existence to this universe, and this being must be a supervised, or not supervised, supervised is used as one word, infinitely wise. So, because we created me with this capacity to ask and come to the conclusion that it is mysterious. It means I cannot explain it by myself. He must explain it. And it makes sense. That is the conclusion of the necessity of the prophethood, messengership. The creator of this universe, we conclude after hearing the message from the messengers. Really, the creator, the one who gave existence to this universe, must tell me that he, such a being, exists, and the regulations, how to use the universe. As the example said, how to implement the peace in the society by using a kind of regulations, a sort of regulations. We need that. It makes sense only after we find out. Now, those people who are bewildered and admired at the perfection in the universe, what they say, it is really mysterious. But what we see, here is the order, perfectly working, right? So we have to benefit from it. But if someone, that's my conclusion, we can argue about it. If someone does not want to accept the mission of the messengership, he can go only thus far. The universe is perfect. Everything seems to be meaningful. Human life is meaningful, but it is mysterious. We don't know how and when. But we have to use the universe that we need it to benefit from the order of the universe. And we need it, and we are using it, utilizing it, making our life standard higher. We should get on. I don't know whether you will remember or not, but not very frequently, from time to time, I refer to this. If someone doesn't really take into the existence of the prophethood, the institution of the prophethood, not a particular prophet, institution of the prophethood, this person cannot solve any problem. We call it in practical terms, although it is not right to say, but practically we have a figure of speech. If someone doesn't really need for a prophet, this person cannot have any religion. It means any explanation referred to God, the Creator. He makes everything up for himself, mixing it. Usually, what do? They mix it with what they heard, but they never acknowledge that these, the things which they heard in the culture, have been originated by the messengers. This, I believe in God. This is very common. This is very common. If you are aware, but for me it is true, but I don't know whether you are aware of it. Whatever the community claims themselves to be a Christian, to be Christians, to Jews, to Muslims, regardless, they are all equal. Right? If these communities do not follow the teaching of a prophet employed by God, they will never have religion, apart, but don't confuse. The people here say they are Christian, but they have nothing to do with Christianity in general. Even those people who attend the church, they have social activities. And also Muslim community, they go to the mosque, the kind of social activity, but religious. I mean, Muslim social activity, Christian social activity, Jewish social activity, or social activity. Unless you feel the presence of the prophethood, you cannot have religion, but the people claim to have it. That's why I'm using the word religion. Don't ask me. It is not the subject. What do you mean by religion? Yeah, it means a life organized by the Creator under the instruction of a messenger. That is religion. They cannot have religion. At the most, they may even say that I am a Muslim, I am a Christian. Doesn't matter. At the most, they can be theists. It means they believe in God because they cannot deny it. They heard it. It makes absolute sense. They cannot deny it, but they don't want to follow the instructions of God in their life because they don't take the prophethood into account for their own life. Do you understand the reasoning? Most of the people, the majority of the population of the world are deists, regardless of any religion. They are deists. But we want to get out of this deism. Do you understand deism?
I
Who
don't.
doesn't?
I do not.
You don't. Believing in God is the creator of the universe and nothing else. Following your life according to your human instinct. Right? Not religion. But the religion, how did we define religion? What's the religion? What's religion? Not the dictionary religion. We define here religion. No?
What? Oh, a way of life? Go ahead.
We said a life
An organized life under instruction by a messenger appointed by God.
Yeah. Yeah. Without messenger, you cannot have religion. You can be deist. Although you may say, I follow Muslim religion, Islamic religion, or Christian religion. No, is the prophet in your life? Is the prophet in your life? But don't take the Christianity as it is now. It is not Christianity, really. Christianity is the religion of Christ. But it is policing, St. Paul's instruction. So it's not Christianity. Most of the people follow Paul, St. Paul, but they don't. They think that they are following Jesus because they believe that Jesus is a part of God, an aspect of God, the Son of God. I don't know, but it doesn't mean that we should be very careful not to criticize Christian people, but they are not different from Muslims. We believe in Muhammad as the messenger of God, and in our life we follow what we want. Christians follow Christianity as they want, yeah. But the concept of prophethood does not exist in Christianity. It is an old story mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, Torah, and the Hebrew Bible. There are other sections also apart from Torah. So the prophets there, Jesus is not a prophet. So if you don't have a prophet, you can have a savior by laying your faith in him, not by following his instructions. Because he's not a prophet, bringing message from God to you, and you are benefiting from it. By benefiting from it, you are organizing your life according to the will of Creator. Not according to the will of the prophet. We have to understand how the circle goes. Okay.
So,
Lots of questions.
earlier in the class, you said that prophethood was necessary to believe in a creator, to draw the conclusion. They introduced the idea, and then you can conclude confidently in the existence of a creator. But when
No, the necessity of the existence of a creator makes sense to you after you hear the message from the prophets. It makes sense, but it's not religion.
Right.
Do you understand?
You said a deist is a person believing in God. So how, if they don't accept prophethood, how did they get there?
But they don't accept prophethood in order to organize their life according to the message that the prophet brings to them. Do you understand? They don't accept the prophet as the one who produces, who introduces the organization of, or how we should live our life, how we should benefit from human qualities, according to the, if you like, will or the purpose of their existence, which is established by the Creator. And I will use it in order to understand the Creator better. I will use my abilities, not that I will use the universe. Do you understand? Look, I will use the universe as evidence, as a source of evidence. But we said between my human qualities and what I see in the universe, there is a fundamental, there is not an, there are fundamental contradictions. So if you take the instruction of the messengership, you can fulfill the purpose in your existence. Only after that you can make yourself a perfect human being. if you follow the instruction from the prophet, but hearing from the culture that God exists, which was introduced by the prophet, makes sense to you, you cannot deny it. Do you understand? That's why people believe in God, not the prophets. Although they benefit from the message of the prophet initially, but they don't benefit from the message of the prophet in order to organize their life according to the purpose in their existence, which is established by the Creator. It needs training under the instruction of the messengership. Do you follow this? No one mistakes. Apparently, it seems to be very clear. Yeah, very clear. Yeah, we have to believe in the prophet. No, I mean, we have to benefit from the teachings. If you don't benefit, not only get the general idea that, oh, there is such a being which is called God, and who created the universe, it makes sense. Otherwise, we are in contradiction without having this concept of God. Speak to people, I gave the example before, in previous discussions, who are not introduced to concept of God. It is very hard to understand that because they are used to following a certain way of understanding and life. Doesn't make sense. They don't understand the concept of God. When you get out of their cultural understanding of the universe and life, because they are so much indoctrinated into the materialist way of understanding human life. We have to benefit from the world as much as we can. We have to make our life standards higher, and that's it. And die after death, forget about everything anyways. So we have to entertain our life as we live here. That's it. But if they really sincerely question, every human being understands it. I think you got it. Did you?
Yes, thank you.
Somehow. Would you like to ask a question?
No, I just
comment?
wanted to bring in a point. I think one does not need religion to come to the conclusion of there must be a creator.
Sorry, say it again.
One does not need religion to come to the conclusion that there must be a creator.
What do you mean by religion in this context?
In this context, by religion, I mean, now what do I do with my existence as in there must be a creator? But basically, by religion, I mean like, how do I go on about living in this universe by knowing it's...
Under the instruction of God, presented to you through a prophet. Mm-hmm. That's what is called religion. Otherwise, to believe in God is not religion. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although it is not useless, it is the beginning. Mm-hmm. And we hear from the prophetic message that whoever believes in God, ultimately he will be saved. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. But we are not putting everybody into hell. Don't worry about it. We are trying to understand which kind of life we should live in this world. And why do we need the messengership, and for what we need the messengership? What are we going to do with the existence of a messengership? Instruction of God, how to use primarily the universe and myself, my human qualities, solve the problem of contradiction between my human expectations and what the universe presents to me. It is wonderful, but meaningless. The meaningful, but meaningfulness of the universe is meaningless. What am I going to do with it? Nothing. It's meaningful, I don't know. It's mysteries. That's it. Forget about it. the contradiction between human expectations and what the universe presents, it's not a simple thing that the universe presents. The universe says, I'm perfect in my existence, and you cannot explain my perfection in my existence by referring it to myself. And human beings need perfection and eternally satisfied human needs at the perfect level. And the universe says, I'm sorry, I cannot provide this perfect eternal life for you. What am I going to do? I don't know. Go to hell. I don't know what the universe says. So the Creator comes to our aid, says, I can teach you what to do with it. How the Creator, the absolute being, comes and instructs me what to do, we see that there are prophets in the creation. And they come with this message, and we have to heed to what they say. Listen to them. If they make sense to us, we will accept. If they don't, we will reject. Yeah. So deism is the major religion of the world. We must admit that. Among Muslims, among Christians, yeah, they believe in God, but not religion. Religion is a serious matter. But when you say, okay, we are Muslims, and we believe that Islam is not a corrupt religion, okay, Muhammad was the messenger of God, okay. How seriously we take this, the existence of the messenger in our life? How much? How? We're imitating physically, not the message. Yeah. Okay.
So the people you refer to as deists, they still retain a materialist philosophy
In their life.
in their life.
Or as their life guidance. It means I have to perfect my life, make myself happy within this universe without attributing myself or my human qualities to its creator, and identifying my human qualities in terms of his manifested qualities. That is a connection now. And the prophet teaches you this. And how are you going to keep the balance there? The balance between what? Yes, he is created. He is the source of everything, including my human qualities. And I have also human qualities. And these are my property now. But whatever it is, even given by God, it is mine. I have to use them according to my own life experience. Right? Everybody looks at the matter from his own perspective. Everybody follows his own interest. And the people who were materialist people were not ashamed of saying that if everybody follows his own benefit, the common benefit will come. That's the very basic of material civilization practiced in economic system established by them. Follow your material benefit. If you work harder, let's say, instead of, let's say, 1 acre land cultivate, if you cultivate 10 acres, if I cultivate, instead of 10 acres, what happens? I benefit from it, and the wealth, common wealth of that country will increase. It makes perfect sense, right? So follow your personal interest. Then the common interest, commonwealth, will develop. It looks like reasonable. That's what majority of the people, the world, I don't know any exception, maybe in saved, not unpolluted primitive societies. Otherwise, all societies who have somehow been involved with industry is based on the summers. 90% of the world, materialists. Or they may say we are Muslims, but they are really capitalists or materialists in their life, practical life, following their own interest. So God says, I gave you through the message. He sends through the prophets. Says, I gave you all these senses in order to acknowledge me, not in order to satisfy your temporary egoistic approach or understanding. I give you this in order to connect yourself while you are practicing. You have to connect yourself to me and be more and more conscious of my presence in your existence. That is religion. Do you understand the difference? If you don't, take the acknowledgement of the Creator into the account of your life, what happens? You become a pharaoh in the description of the Quran. It means egocentric satisfaction. That's why materialist people do all sorts of charitable activities. Why? Self-satisfaction? Not to acknowledge the Creator. A means of acknowledging the Creator, because they don't accept prophetic leadership, instructions.
I was just going to say, I think the emphasis needs to be not just in the acknowledgement of the Creator in the sense the existence of a Creator, but rather more towards
Yeah. How can you acknowledge God without the Creator, without acknowledging His existence of the Creator? We have to watch out the language. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Go over again. Reconstruct yourself.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm still failing to recognize my mistake in the sentence, but I guess what I'm trying to say here is that you can still, as a human being, we can still come to the logical conclusion that there must be a Creator, but the prophethood or a messenger or interpreter or translator is almost necessary to convey, as well as I guess elaborate the orderliness in existence, which allows me to kind of recognize the qualities of that Creator, not just the existence.
How do you recognize the qualities of the Creator in the universe if you don't use your human qualities?
Right.
Is it possible?
No.
Now that's why you have to educate yourself first.
Right.
For example, if you don't educate people personally, one by one, that they must act justly because their Creator is a just one. This sense of justice is a means of acknowledging the Creator's quality and attributing the existence of your sense of justice to the just, absolute just God. If you don't establish this personally, how can you establish justice in society? So people keep talking that the laws must be just. They don't say the people need to learn what justice is and how are they going to manage with it. That needs prophetic teaching. Because if I say my sense of justice is interpreted by me or defined by me according to my expectations, can I be just? I will take part. Do you understand? I will take part for my beloved. Then we say this is justice because this is not to the extreme point, but because my understanding will be around my own interest area. How can you educate me only taking the sense of justice and attributing to the absolute creator as being the absolute just? So you are an agent of the creator, of the source of existence of the sense of justice in your life. So you cannot really use justice according to your own interest, according to the teachings of the prophet. Because he is the one who introduces that these senses are not but given to you in order to understand that your creator is the absolute just. That is the the prophets are the only ones who teaches that none of the philosophy, human philosophy, could do that and did in the history. Now, they say, oh, they try to be just, not to be selfish, etc. Why? Only attaching yourself to the Creator, attaching your sense of anything, justice in this example, to the Creator, then you can tame yourself. It means not interest-oriented interpretation of justice, because there's nothing to do with you. You are an agent of the Creator, and you have to act according to the will of the Creator of the sense of justice within you. How can you learn this? Through the prophets. Right? That if we don't have the concept of prophethood, we never can have religion. But the culture says, Jews said we believe Moses is the Jew, Moses is the prophet. The culture says Muhammad is the prophet, so we follow Muhammad's practice. But the training of human senses under the instructorship of the prophets through the message they received from God, it needs a work. Not many people do that. We don't blame people because no one is teaching that. Using human qualities in order to get to know God. That is, we call it in this class, belief education, belief training.
Would you say that companions were
But
starting
one
to
of
implement?
Maxine's companions. I haven't seen any of them.
Okay.
None of mine. Everybody is a human being.
Okay.
Everybody benefits something from somebody. You benefit from the cultural religion to a certain extent. We are talking about theory.
Okay.
Theoretical, theoretical, if you like,
Framework.
Mm-hmm. Now, we are not talking about people.
Okay.
But what the community demonstrates, for example, not many people concentrate on teaching the belief aspect of any matter.
Mm-hmm.
We just say we believe, so we have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we heard. Right? Not connecting my existence to God
Mm-hmm.
and really being aware of it. Not many people, doesn't mean that no one does that, but not many people do this in the Jewish world, in the Christian world, in the Muslim world. So we have to be aware of what is missing in the culture. Anyone else?
I have a question. So you might not like this question, but
Doesn't matter. So if I don't, doesn't matter. Whether
Yeah.
I like it or not, doesn't matter. What matters is let's understand.
yeah, so it is at a theoretical level, it is still a question for me. That's why I'm asking. If a created being, I guess, must have the potential to convey the, let's say, message or meaningfulness in creation to me as form of me as in being another created being from the original source itself, then at a theoretical level again,
What did you mean by from
the source itself?
What is for example, who can do that? Only by definition, the prophet.
Right.
Only the ones who are employed by
Right.
the Creator,
Right.
not you and me.
Right.
I don't
Otherwise,
think I'm employed.
Right.
I have no sign on it.
Right.
So-
right. So had I said that the prophet is not employed, but just someone who interpreted things to their own understanding, I'm proposing an argument.
It has to be,
Yeah.
and how do you say, with lots of the discrepancies in his message and interest oriented.
Right, which would make it a, I guess, in the sense of justice, it would be relative justice if I understood it from a person's interpretation versus.
If America benefits from somebody, if there is a benefit of American economy in anything, they can do it.
Right.
Because it is our benefit. And the prophet would, or not the prophet, now forget about the prophet. Muhammad, if the Muhammad was, Muhammad introduced what he told to people, he must have been interest-oriented person. We cannot go ahead. Because why should I not? Why should I not?
Right.
Why should I not? That's the prophet's main characteristics of the prophets. The most important characteristics of the prophet is not get any benefit from what they are teaching. Main characteristic, apparently. So we don't know. They say, I received message from God. I don't know. No one knows. But what I do, when we'll study that, we will look at his personal life, if there is any interest-oriented attitude in his life. Right? Interest-oriented. Personal interest, tribal interest, national interest, family interest, but interest-oriented. Do we get that? That's what we have to look at. Where, what is it getting out of it? Right?
Right. So again, at a theoretical level, the question that I have now is, why is there not from a personal perspective, I'm not saying like why is there a need for prophet now for me, but theoretically, what about the possibility of everyone being a prophet? What about if that communication can be established between a created being and the creator, then why limit it to certain created beings and not all?
Now, go back to our very fundamental discussions. Again, we have to be very careful with the vocabulary. Potentially, everybody can represent God's will. That's why they are called, every human being is called in the Quran, Caliph, representative of God on earth. Right? Every person, human being, potentially. But it doesn't mean that their abilities are developed under the instruction of God so that they can present it. So when you say everybody can be a prophet by its potential qualities, through its potential qualities. So we should understand that the potential capacity of the prophet wasn't more than you and me, but this is potential. But when it comes to ability, that's what the Quran says, the prophet himself says, and also Quran also confirms it. We trained you, educate you. It means we turned your potentiality into ability under our instruction. Now, do you get the instruction from your creator? Apart from the potentiality within you, whether you can use it or not, that's it, it's there. Special instruction, education from your creator, but potentially they are there. But you have to have a teacher to get this potentiality out into a practical life. In our daily life, we know that we go to school and learn from it. Now, you can imagine this in this sense. The teacher of the prophets is
Creator. Must be.
the creator. That's why the special mission must be given. People don't understand this, especially atheists, or those people who don't want to associate themselves with any belief system, don't understand that the teacher of the prophets are God, the creator. No, not are. The teacher of the prophets is the creator. They don't accept that. Even among the Greek philosophers challenged that. We understand. To a certain extent, they didn't have religion. They didn't have prophets. All right? It's famous historical philosophers narrated to us. There may be somebody else, but this is available for us. And also some Muslims coming from Muslim background, under the influence of Greek philosophy, they said that we can make our own religion. If you know the famous ones, they are very famous. If you read their writings, the most important of them and prominent of them is Haim Yeksan. It's a very interesting book, and the name of the book is Haim is living, Yeksan is aware. An aware living being. Lives in an island and looks at the universe and looks at its environment and concludes that there must be a creator, and this creator must have this kind of qualities. But after hearing the message from the prophet, that the author has written this, and he doesn't refer to the teaching of the prophet. It's a Muslim philosophy, and the people love it. They make films, videos about this book. I don't know whether you are aware of it. And they say, look, you don't believe in God. Rationally makes sense. But this book is written as a challenge to the need of a prophet. The Muslims, we don't need, we can find God. We don't need the prophet. We don't have to follow the prophet. Human beings can find the truth by themselves. This is an extremely important subject. We have to organize our thinking into a very fine tuning, never miss any point by using general language. We'll follow step by step, why we cannot have religion without subjecting ourselves to the instruction of a prophet, although we may simply miss it. Right? It's interesting. Okay. So far, we established that, including this reminder we read, there must be an institution of messengership. Yeah. The Creator must train someone, instruct someone and get him ready to convey the message. Under his instruction, the creator must do that. Otherwise, the word, as it says, the word will be thrown into chaos. Why? Look at the civilizations. They follow humanitarianism, okay? Especially the American people, European people are very proud of their humanitarian attitude. They take care of the people who are in need, right? Are really humanitarian people. They follow them. But ultimately, every state, every community, every town is after its own interest. But they do some sacrifices. Oh, okay, we're not saying they shouldn't. No one said they shouldn't. Okay. Human qualities are given to us as well, whether you use it in the name of God or you use it in your own name in order to feel great. So it doesn't matter. You do some sort of good actions, but not the perfect actions, which fits human
Expectations.
Human capacity perfectly. But some claims, yes, not everybody is completely corrupt. Not everybody is completely corrupt. We cannot say that, I've seen a man, practically speaking, not theoretically. I've seen a man 100% corrupt. No. Takes care of his child. For example, yeah? He's a corrupt man. But when it comes to something, he uses human qualities in the right way, but in the right way, not according to acknowledging God, but yeah, acts according to human qualities. Not everybody is correct. So they do something nice, but cannot establish the best society by themselves. Even though we follow it, let's say somebody says, I am following the prophetic teaching. I am educating myself according to the prophetic teaching, but the prophetic teaching doesn't mean that you are reading the hadith and applying it. It's nothing to do with that. I get really irritated. You know, the teachings, fundamental belief teachings of the Quran. Right? So the Prophet demonstrates it in his life according to his life conditions. In the perfect way, but according to his life conditions. As a human being. Now, that is different. Otherwise, the human societies cannot really save yourself from falling into chaos. But for the moment, you see that there is no chaos in the world. Huh? Do you see? Which nation state doesn't give priority to its own interest? Which one? Which one? Can you show one? Impossible. That is chaos. Everybody is fighting for his own interest according to the power they have. They put it into practice. Okay.
Yes, I think I'm having a little trouble with this word self-interest. So I guess the way we're defining self-interest is doing thing for the sake of satisfying your own egoistic desire.
Attributing it to yourself. That's why you cannot get out of chaotic life if you keep doing that. Your life will be chaotic.
So, whereas we're saying that if I focus on existence, my existence, I'm given existence, I want to know the reason or what am I to make out of this existence. Isn't that my personal interest? Isn't that self-interest too? Because I want to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's why you are following the truth in order not to deviate yourself from the truth. That is your personal interest, but you do it in order to follow the true way, the purpose of your existence, not to satisfy your worldly benefits or other things. But just you believe in God and the messenger, the message, and you educate yourself. Yeah, that's your benefit.
That's for my
But
self-interest.
it doesn't mean that materialist civilizations, which are prevalent in the world, follow their interests in order to know the truth.
Okay.
But everybody will be responsible for himself. God says you are responsible for yourself in the Quran. Yeah. So take care of your responsibility. It means to a certain extent, in a certain limited understanding, we have to be selfish, to save myself, not to fall into mistake and make my life chaotic. I have to reach peace in my existence. I have to reach peace in that is my purpose. That's why I'm following the Prophet. That's why I acknowledge the existence of God. That's why I attribute my feelings to the creator of the creator or source of existence of these feelings, which is the creator of the universe. Right? That's why I'm doing that. But it doesn't mean that in my private life, I am interacting with the world and with other people in order to fulfill or make my interest higher, make it better. But this is your interest in acknowledging God is different from your interest in your relationship with human beings and social life or other creatures, other beings. So that's why we have to adjust our life. How am I treating the creation? How am I treating other people? How am I really treating the society I belong to? That is the Prophet teaches us how to do that. That's what we need, the Prophet teaching. It means that God is instruction.
So anything that's without divine connection would be a self-interest act, right?
Selfishness.
But at the end of the day, it's still self-interest as in to fulfill the purpose of my existence. Whatever I'm doing is still.
The Quran uses different languages for it. It uses whims. It uses their purposes, their corrupt purposes. Mufsid makes zulm means Quranic words I'm trying to remember to describe this self-interest. This zulm means the injustice, iniquity. It means not treating the creation around you, the other people around you, as you are supposed to do. It means under the instruction of the prophets. Otherwise, you cannot avoid it. But we shouldn't, we can make distinction easily that I have to fulfill my responsibility. And we can call it, that's my interest. Yeah. But where? At which platform?
Right.
Okay. So, can we read a reminder, the following reminder, and then we will start from next week onward. How do we, or how can we make sure that a person who is called Muhammad in our time is a prophet? But the foundation is this. We definitely need a prophet. Now, there must be a profession of prophethood. Otherwise, the universe will be meaningless, turn meaningless for us. Okay.
Can I ask a question? So regardless of the act or action, whims, caprices, desires refer to your feeling, not necessarily what action you're going to do. Like, for example, drinking alcohol is an action that can be described as a whim, but
Whim, did you say?
whim or a desire or a caprice, or I don't know.
I will say no.
No, okay. So it's when in the Quran, when it's referring to when it's referring to corrupt or whims, it's a feeling regardless of the outward action.
But towards our outward action.
To any outward action, no matter what it would be.
Yeah, your attitude.
Attitude.
Yeah. For example, why do we not drink alcohol? Yeah. So it doesn't mean that everybody drinks a little bit of red wine, because he heard from some nutritionists that if you take a little bit of, how do you say, I don't know, just a little bit of red wine, it's so good for your health. Oh, why shouldn't I do that? It is good for my health. I'm not going to get drunk. No, you drink just a little, a couple of ounces of red wine, you don't get drunk. His attitude is, we can say, it's not a result of really women caprices and oppressions. No, these are extreme cases. The Quran describes these extreme cases, but we don't drink alcohol. Or personally, I don't drink alcohol because my Creator gave me the opportunity through the prophets that I have to acknowledge that the rest, all the drinkable things or liquids that I can drink, his property, in order to put it in my physical life, I have to practice it. My physical life also must practice it. They understand, for example, I understand that God is supply, God is supreme, but my physical life also practice it by going to prostration. Physical life, because I am practicing it in practicing everything in physical terms. I don't say, for example, God is gracious, God is merciful, God is the one who nourishes me, but I eat food. No, physically I eat food. Like that. Oh, the best example in the Quran, given to us through the example by narration of the example of the Adam, the prophet Adam. He was in paradise. He wasn't responsible for any physical practice. Right? He wasn't in that position. And when you go, inshallah, all of you go to paradise, all of us, don't forget me. So all of us will go to paradise and there won't be any physical practice there. just enjoyment, physically enjoyment, but we are not responsible to remember something, put it into practice, make it a part of our physical life as well. So Adam was asked not to approach one tree. That was the beginning of his becoming a human being. Right? So it was a physical instruction. That don't approach this tree. It's very beautiful. Paradise is what we usually describe it in the Quran as endless forest. One tree, man. But any time, example, we have to understand that Adam, in the example of Adam, we don't know what he did, but it's an example. Adam approached one tree and wanted to get fruit of it. He thought, is it the one I'm prohibited? No, okay. What did it do? Physically put into practice his connection to God. That's what we are doing. That's why we don't drink alcohol, or I don't drink alcohol. Why? If I go somewhere, if somebody offers me with it looks like I don't know what, I don't know, maybe beer or white wine or red wine. I say, what is that? It's sour cherry juice. Well, this is what I mean? Because what I was conscious of, practically, it's not wine. It's very practical. So we are living in this world physically. That's why we have to follow physical instructions of the prophets. Yes. You cannot say that, okay, I am a spiritual being. Of course we are spiritual being, but that doesn't mean that is religion. Religion is different from being spirituality. I believe in God, yeah. I submit myself to God. I think of physically, what are they? Practically, what are they? That's why the prophets bring the message to Moses, but Jesus didn't bring anything because they refer to the Torah. Yeah, that's what he didn't bring. It's in the Torah, all right? What is missing? Are you going to teach Iman, belief? So, Torah came with what? 10 Commandments. I mean, the Torah does not consist of 10 Commandments only. 10 Commandments is the 10 Commandments, but the Torah is 2,000 pages. The available Torah now, not the Torah that the Prophet Moses received, but available Torah. It is only half a page, even not a half a page, 10 Commandments. In the Quran also, physical instructions make only, I don't know, 3% of the whole Quran. But this is there. We have to practice it. We have to pray. We have to fast. We have to avoid gambling. We have to avoid killing or, I don't know, telling lies and drinking alcohol. Animal, for example, benefit from all the animals of the sea and other animals, but pork or the swine. That's it. It's a kind of yardstick criterion for me. If I eat something, I say, is it pork? Is it bacon? No, okay. This is what I mean? They bring me this one, that one, okay. No, but not bacon. One, not bacon. Physical instruction is included in the teachings of the Prophet. Let's read this one and see. It's just an introduction, nothing more.
A reminder, O brothers and sisters, if prophethood, which is the lesser of the two proofs for the existence of the Maker, namely the institution of prophethood and the prophethood of Muhammad, has been inscribed on the page of your minds, then we can proceed with the greater one. That is, the prophethood of Muhammad, upon him peace
Now,
be
let's
peace and
yeah,
blessings.
let's start next week. The prophethood of Muhammad. Yeah? Inshallah, we can start now. I think our minds are ready. Don't say, how did you come to this place? We have to establish first, but today is the 20th part of the Messengership study. Well, we have been studying it for 20 weeks. Now, this is the foundation. Now we can come to our present life. If we were created, are you in Ari? Could go? I mean, but we are in Ari as well. But if we were created, let's say 350 years ago, we would be talking about the prophethood of Moses. 2,000 years ago, we would be talking about the prophethood of Jesus. Yeah? And now we will be talking about Muhammad. Are you in a hurry? Or what do you do? Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. إن شاء الله see you next month.